prospects, where do you look yourselves up to, and why you should be in shipping business first of all. Alright? So if you can. So on the logo down below, if you see IMO, International Maritime Organization, do you know where it is located? Anyone?
London.
Sorry?
London.
No, it's in London. Do you know what is the headquarters of United Nations located?
New York.
Why IMO is located in London, whereas the headquarters of UN is located in New York? Because
Great Britain is in the shipping business for a very long time. They are studying their shipping for a very long time. So the major implication of the shipping industry done from the London.
your friend is absolutely right. The hub of shipping is in London. Essentially, Europe is like a hub of maritime or international trade. So you will find more supply chain being conducted in US and Canada. But if it comes to shipping, Europe is the hub because Greek owners actually own more than 17% of the ships around the world. So, and I work for World Maritime University, which is a specialized university of IMO, and we give consulting to IMO and other shipping companies. So, this is more like what are various maritime careers you have. You could be in business aspect, business, shipping, or port management, because port operation is also quite capital intensive, and it can be really inefficient if it is not performing well, and can really harm the economy of a country, because port is like a gateway to your country. And if your port is not performing well, the whole business will go down. Alright? The second is also about maritime law. There are some graduates who study maritime law in London as well. We have one of our graduates, his name is Ritesh Kaushik. He's doing his maritime law. He completed his as a lawyer in London. And again, London because it's the hub. We have maritime administration, ocean management, and energy management. You will have a session, previously regarding IMO sulfur cap 2020, right? And this is coming from the energy management. How efficiently you should invest your energy, combining technical aspects to business aspect. And that is also, some of the careers which are important. But for me, I only concentrate on the business aspect of shipping and port. But I'm going to tell you about the shipping careers here. So, if you see volatility, the MBA guys might understand. Volatility is about risk, how much fluctuation it is happening. It's about how much this bottle of water can fluctuate over time. Either it is 100 or 5. So I would say it is 95% volatile or something. So just to give you an index, at the lowest point, you have the stock market, S&P 500 is the composite index of 500 Fortune 500 companies listed in Chicago Mercantile Exchange in New York. So those are actually, as you see, this volatility is quite low, it's about 15%. But as you increase cocoa, soybeans, cotton, those are the commodities. Commodity prices is also very volatile. And as you go up, as you see, crude oil prices, you have a long heated discussion in politics now regarding the crude oil prices going up. But you'll be surprised, crude oil price is not very volatile as compared to the red ones are the shipping prices. So the shipping market, though you may not see it, is highly volatile, and the highest volatile is about 80% annualized volatility between 2008 and 2017. For Cape-size bulk carrier, I'm showing you an example. From $250,000, it dropped to $3,000. And hence, there is a lot of opportunity for growth. So, and this is about the freight index and asset value. The red line is the freight rates, and the green line is basically the asset value. And as you see, actually it's not very clear, but let me read it out for you. In 2008, we were talking about $250,000 a day, and the asset value was more than $150 million. It dropped like a rock to $3,000 a day for freight rate and less than $50 million for asset value. And that is the fluctuation. And still now the market is not performing well. You would have a very low placement for shipping companies because shipping companies themselves are bleeding. It dropped and they still maintain a very low freight rate. The market is reviving a bit more, like from 3,000. It has now gone up to about 16,000. So, but still the market is low as well. What are different shipping careers you can take? why I'm telling you this career, apart from sailing, there are different careers which are very lucrative. Is you are either working for a ship owner or a charterer or a commodity house. Ship owners, as you know, Maersk, any other ship owner company do you know? Sorry? MSC, yes. CMSCGM. You're talking about only containers. I want other market as well. TK tankers, yes. Stena? Evergas. Nordic tankers, yes. Those are all, Nordic is based in Copenhagen. So there are different ship owners where you'll be working for. Why ship owners need you? Because of this market fluctuation. They would want to use your knowledge to actually catch those opportunities. You also have ship brokers like Clarkson. Have you read about anything about Clarkson? It's one of the largest shipbroking firms. Or shipping agents. It could be guys like me. I do research. I don't work for anyone, but I do research on my own personal basis. Or analysts. You also have investment banks. Because, why? This is a very capital-intensive market. And hence, investment banks recently realized there is an opportunity of growth. So they are all getting into this market. How many investment banks? Is anyone, the MBA guys, what are different investment banks? Can you name a few?
KPMG.
Sorry?
Goldman Sachs.
Goldman Sachs? KPMG?
Investment bank like HSBC is also one of the primary.
Yes.
HSBC.
And everyone have a shipping portfolio. All of the shipping banks have a shipping portfolio. Why? Because one provides a diversification for them. And second, they are capital rich. For example, JP Morgan actually came off from New York to London to establish something called the Real Asset Management Group, which they invest on infrastructure, shipping, and construction, real estates. And in shipping portfolio, they have $80 billion investment. And Andy Dacey is a guy with 12 people. They're handling $80 billion project in shipping, and they have got into the VLCCs market. They started owning those vessels because they know that they have so capital intensive, they can survive this down cycle. We have some of the Exim banks, export and import banks as well. For example, in China, it is heavily investing on international trade. We also can be academia or consultant. So there are different career prospects like this. For example, if you want to be a ship owner, you'll be working for one of those. On the left hand side we have the containers, then we have some of the COSCO, I could say is a container. China, COSCO, they have combined together now. Stena, Frontline, Navigate, those are actually the tankers. Then we also have some of the commodity houses on right. BP, Shell, Exxon, Total, some of the charterers like Cargill. So those are the Cargill is one of the largest charter as well. There you would find a job for yourself. If you want to work for a ship brokering firm, I was mentioning you, is Clarkson, SSY. You also have Arrow or FIS, Freight Industry Services. They are different charterers and private brokering house. We have Marex Spectrum as well in London. Most of them are based in Europe. So it is also a very capital, quite a rewarding job as a career, if you think. Per day, when the market was good, per day a broker was getting a bonus of about £1,000 as a bonus, not the salary, as a bonus as £1,000 per day. And that is, my friend, your 1 month of salary as a trainee engineer. So that was his bonus on a daily basis. So it's quite, but now they are not getting so much of bonus because the margin is very low. The market is quite bad. For example, banks. You are mentioning few: JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs. These are investment banks. You have the hedge funds like Blackstone, BlackRock. You could work for some of the German or the state-owned banks as well. Bank of China, Korean Import-Export Bank. We also have the Indian Export-Import Bank as well, which is quite active for shipping. Actually, in Government of India, they have started something called Invest India. You know about it, right? Invest India, and there are two people in Noida. They're investing in infrastructures related to shipping and port. So they get foreign direct investments and they try to invest in India. So in India as well, it is quite active, not only in Europe. We have some of, what is CME Group? Chicago Mercantile Exchange. You could work for different stock exchanges as well, because shipping is like a business world. It has to be listed in an exchange to raise capital. Chicago Mercantile Exchange is based in New York, but the shipping portfolio is managed from London for the obvious reason. So we have Singapore Exchange. You could also work for some of the rating agencies like Moody's or S&P Group. So they are all quite active those. But finally, I want to tell you, where do you want to study as well? Because nothing comes in thin air. You have to learn, to understand the market. I remember one of my juniors, when I was a student at Walmart University doing my master's, he asked me, where should I study? He wanted to become a shipbroker, which was quite attractive. You read in blogs, Quora, so they would give you an idea that for becoming a shipbroker, you don't have to have a formal career. They're very right, you don't have to have a formal career, but that was 50 years back. Because 50 years back, for becoming an engineer or marine engineer as well, you don't need a formal career. You start from a cadet and then you start learning from a motorman and go on. But now for a faster career growth, or even to get into this market, you need to have a formal degree. And that is what is very important, to know the market well in the right way. So academic, I'm not marketing because I'm an academia as well, that you don't have to go back to colleges or back to universities to do your master's. But the point is, it is quite important to learn, because the experience of 20 years of working in an industry can be provided to you in a 1-year condensed package. So Cass Business School was one of the first business schools which started shipping as a business career. They are very prone as well, based in London of course, the reason as you all know now. We have Henley Business School, which started recently, and I did my PhD from Henley Business School, and I was managing there we have International Shipping and Finance Masters, and I was managing the courses there. We have Walt Maritime University, which is not a business school, it's a university, and it doesn't give you a business certificate, but though, it's based in Sweden, all those business schools have their own pros and cons. So you have to really jot down to see where you want to locate yourself, how much is the cost involved. We have the Erasmus Business School, where Neil people did his master's as well. And the beauty about all those, we have Athens University as well. In next year, actually, in 2019, we're going to have a conference here for IAME conference in Athens as well, where Manolis Kausanos is doing. I'll give you a story, just a 2-minute story of how they're all interlinked. We have Nanyang Technological University in Singapore, and also Hong Kong Polytechnic University in Hong Kong, which in Asia they are very well renowned. So Cass Business School was started by a guy called Kostas Graminos. So he's a Greek guy, of course, because Greece was very famous in shipping, and everyone, like we have IT firms, in Bangalore, in a row, you find shipping companies in a row. Piraeus, one of the, place near to Athens, the capital, they only, in Piraeus, we have more than 900 shipping companies in Piraeus. So every door you walk, there will be a shipping company. Maybe 1, 2 ships, or half a ship as well, but they're shipping companies. So most of the Greeks actually were involved in starting all these programs here. Cass Business School was started by Kostas Graminos and Manolis Kausanos. They're 2 guys. They're very legendary in shipping finance business. Because of a political battle, Manolis Kausanos separated from Cass Business School, and he started Athens University, the shipping program at Athens University. And he had produced 4 PhD students. 4 or 5 PhD students, and 2 of them are managing Cass Business School now, and one of them moved to Walt Maritime University and developed the program at Henley Business School, staying at Walt Maritime University, who was my professor as well, Elias Usmekis. So after he started Henley Business School in 2012, we started the shipping program, which is quite successful now. And so from so I was doing my master's at Walt Maritime University, and then I moved to Henley Business School for doing my PhD, and I was working collaboratively with both the universities. After Walt Maritime University, actually Walt Maritime University program was started by Hercules Haralampos, and the Shipping and Port Management program, Hercules Haralampos, who actually involved in starting Erasmus Business School, Maritime Economics program as well. And now Hercules has moved to Texas. So Harkless was another boss who was not from shipping finance but from shipping economics. And Martin Stofford, William Martingale, they were all related to Harkless who were starting those academic programs. And we have these Europeans, they moved to Asia to start the shipping business in Asia. Nanyang Technological University, it's not a full-fledged shipping university, I would say. They manage the shipping program in the civil engineering department, so they don't have a specialist shipping department. But if you see the global ranking of Nanyang Technological University, it's about 11. The best Asia could ever have, 11 world ranking, which is even beating MIT and Stanford, giving a strong competition to them. It's being headed by one of the Indian guys now as a president, who was previously the dean of MIT. We have Hong Kong Polytechnic as well, which is a dedicated logistics department, logistics and shipping department. So these are different universities where you could look forward to, and if you have a degree from one of those universities in shipping, I think it is worth giving a try. I think that would be the end of my presentation. Yep. So that would be it. So I told you what you have to do, why you have to do, and where you have to do. Those are the 3 factors. And with that, I would like to invite the artificial